This is the CM Punk we missed. While I enjoyed his promo on Raw, a lot of people were angry. He didn't say enough! Well, Punk said, "Hold my Pepsi, Max." This is the promo you've been waiting for. He made it all seem real because that's what CM Punk does. He said, "This time, my time won't be cut short." Referenced his AEW fight with Jungle Boy, called out Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, put over LA Knight, gave a shout out to Jey Uso. My man planted so many seeds, and I gotta be honest, I marked out over every interaction CM Punk had backstage. I mean, just look at this shot. Randy, LA Knight, and CM Punk in the same shot. It's crazy. Oh, and poor Tony. He also said, "I'm back to finish my story," and that's main eventing WrestleMania. So he said everything he needed to say. Oh, but this is PG Punk. Nah, people. This is CM Punk on Pepsi Max. The funny thing is, when he referenced AEW, nobody gave a shit. He was talking about Kevin Owens and said, "Who would feel comfortable working with someone who randomly just punches people in the face backstage?" And I laughed, I got the reference. It's 2023, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't be doing stuff like that. That's insane. And nothing. Nobody gave a shit. And that brings us to a question. Maybe that's the reason why he didn't talk about AEW on Raw. Maybe nobody gives a shit. Maybe most of the WWE fans or the casuals in the audience don't even know what happened. Or maybe it was just the wrong crowd. Obviously, it was tribute to the troops. Don't get me wrong, I laughed my ass off. I felt like it was hilarious. But the thing is, I'm a mark. Not everybody follows that shit. It is kinda crazy though that people didn't understand the joke. Maybe we're all living in this bubble and we feel like everybody knows this, and I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Of course, we're gonna talk about this promo a little bit later, but tribute to the troops SmackDown was actually pretty fun. I mean, the star power is nuts. So let's talk about SmackDown, but before that, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Wrestling GM, where you can actually prove that you can book it better. Wrestling GM is the best wrestling simulation game in the world. The only game where you can be a business owner, TV show writer, and universe creator at the same time. Pick who fights, who becomes champion, manage each wrestler's career, write your own storylines and feuds, and even create your own wrestlers and companies. Find out why 250k plus players continually keep playing Wrestling GM. The game is very deep and the opportunities to play it are endless. It is the perfect mix of creativity and strategy. You can control and create all the outcomes within the game. I also played this game before on my channel. The playlist of Wrestling GM series is in the description below. Wrestling GM is available on all iOS and Android devices, and there's a link to download the game in the description below. Welcome back to the channel. Like, subscribe, get these Coco Jumbo gains. Let's talk about SmackDown. Obviously, we got a bunch of tribute to the troops kind of stuff. We got JBL, who actually kind of made this possible back in the day, and the official theme song was actually by Hardy and Morgan Wallen, and this is gonna surprise you, but I'm actually a huge fan of both of these guys. I ain't talking politics. Welcome to SmackDown, you idiots! And the show kicks off with Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee, the United States Championship Tournament match. This is a match we've seen before. Pretty sure everybody knew who's going to take the W right here. A great way to kick off SmackDown, and of course Santos Escobar takes the W. For me, the highlight was Dominic Mysterio watching the match. Not only watching the match, but being like, "You're the man, Santos. I hate my father too. Fuck him." So Santos Escobar moves on, and I gotta be honest, all of these matches are so predictable. It is what it is though. And Dominic, I believe, is going to defend the North American Championship against Dragon Lee. I do not watch NXT. This was absolutely hilarious. So Randy Orton was fined $50,000 for giving Nick Aldis the RKO. So anyway, Randy Orton doesn't understand why does he have to tag with LA Knight against the Bloodline. He didn't even know who LA Knight was. That's the first time he heard the name. Yikes, I hope this was scripted because this is kinda mean, man. This is kinda mean. No, excuse me, sorry. It's just Randy being Randy. That's the thing, man. I'm pushing this. I'm pushing this in every video. Whenever Randy Orton does something questionable, remember, people, Randy being Randy. But Nick Aldis says, well, Element has a problem with the Bloodline too, so it should work out. Oh, and Randy, it was supposed to be $50,000, but you gave me a check for $100,000. Oh, that's for the next time. Come on, man. Randy is an absolute savage. He's not trying to lie to himself. He's being honest. If only we could be as honest as Randy Orton. Yes, I fucked up. probably do it again. We saw Cody Rhodes to cut that America promo, so of course he thanked the troops. That was the reason why he was on SmackDown. We got the US Army drill team, you know, just a bunch of America stuff. And that was basically it, no story progression, just saying thank you to the troops, which is nice, I guess. Then we saw Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross. Obviously, people were behind Bobby Lashley. Now, the thing is, I knew Bobby's going to win this tournament match, but Karrion Kross was not on television for quite a while, came back, and of course, lost again. Like, are you going to do something with this guy? Do something already. This time, Bayley volunteers. She said she's going to stay backstage. We'll see how that worked out. Look in my eyes. What do you see? The forehead of the century. Man, this was a great promo, and it seems like it was exactly what the people wanted on Monday Night Raw. So CM Punk said, "Oh, you wanted more? Only if you hold my Pepsi." So I want to talk about everything he said during the promo. Punk says he has good news. He says he won't be getting his time cut tonight and encourages fans to chant for him, because now they have time. He said fans will partly decide to which brand he goes, and everyone wants CM Punk to be on SmackDown, because they were watching the show at SmackDown. Now he said that, but it doesn't make any sense. He's still going to make that decision on Raw. He says an old friend of his likes to ask fans what they want to talk about, and while he's famous for talking, he does listen. Some fans didn't like the happy-go-lucky version of him, and this time it's not what we're going to talk about, but rather who I'm gonna talk about. I could talk about Cody, and I have stories about that. People booed. Nobody wants to listen to these stories. Fuck your Cody stories, Punk. Or maybe I should talk about someone who's never here, Roman Reigns. So CM Punk acknowledged Roman Reigns, but let's not forget who the original Paul Heyman guy is. A Paul Heyman reference, that's what we've been waiting for. Man, this rivalry is going to hit hard. He doesn't know Solo Sikoa well, but he's quite familiar with Jimmy Uso. He congratulates Jey Uso on his recent success, and now he has to make a decision whether he wants to be buds with Jey on Raw or fight the Bloodline on SmackDown. So the reason why CM Punk gave Jey Uso a shout out is because on Bump, Jey Uso basically said, "I'm happy Punk is back, let's do this shit." It seems like Punk really appreciates that nowadays, you know. He talked about Jimmy and Sikoa against Randy Orton and LA Knight, and asks if he can trust LA Knight and Randy. Or maybe he could team up or fight with Kevin Owens, but they're too much alike. So CM Punk gave a shout out to LA Knight. He even made the crowd chant his name, which is so nice to see. Now the thing with Kevin Owens is, Kevin is actually, I believe, friends with the Young Bucks. So I like that they showed how professional WWE is, because we even got a backstage segment with CM Punk and Kevin Owens. He says, who would feel comfortable working with someone who just randomly punches people in the face backstage? It's 2023, ladies and gentlemen. You just can't be doing stuff like that. That's insane. Let's watch how many people on Twitter are going to be mad about this. You know, the same people who felt like CM Punk should have mentioned AEW. He then talked about Seth Rollins, because obviously Seth Rollins is the one who has a problem with CM Punk, and my man destroyed Rollins. He said Rollins isn't even the man in his own house. Everybody started singing Seth Rollins' theme song. Punk says, keep singing that song, that's the only thing he has. Man, that story is going to hit like crack. I believe this is exactly what the fans wanted on Monday Night Raw, but the reason it didn't happen is because everything came so quickly, and CM Punk kinda just needed to, you know, let it breathe in a sense. I came back to the WWE. We'll talk about this shit later. Let me just sink it in. I'm in the WWE. But on SmackDown, he said everything that the fans wanted him to say, and of course, even kind of revealed his plans. Well, he did reveal his plans. He says he's here to listen to fans, to hear Nick Aldis, Shawn Michaels, and Adam Pearce, and he'll make that decision on Raw. He says he is the monkey wrench in everyone's plans and future goals. Then says he's back to finish what he started. He says he begins his journey to finish his story on Monday, and that means main eventing WrestleMania. That is so perfect. And in a sense, I believe instead of Cody winning the Royal Rumble, it should be CM Punk, because Cody is like, dude, both of these guys are going to main event WrestleMania, night 1, night 2. It doesn't really matter who wins. Cody won last year. I think it could be a bit repetitive. In a literal sense, it would be repetitive. CM Punk never won the Royal Rumble match. This way he would get that W, main event WrestleMania Night 1, and the only reason he's not gonna pick Roman is because Seth Rollins keeps running his mouth. Whoever wins this match, we get the same thing anyway. It just depends on whether you want to see Cody pointing at WrestleMania or CM Punk. Nothing changes. So I believe it should be CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble match. And look, it's kinda risky. If Cody wins the Royal Rumble match, some people might slightly turn on Cody because they will be like, well, we saw that shit last year. Come on, it's so obvious. We know he's going to WrestleMania against Roman anyway. But you never know. It might be CM Punk versus Roman. I don't see that happening though. But this was absolutely perfect. I didn't expect that much from CM Punk on SmackDown. CM Punk thought about visiting the Bloodline. He met Kevin Owens and asked, do you know where Nick Aldis's office is? And Kevin Owens says, no. Man, they're planting these seeds like Brock Lesnar in his farm. Man, this shot is so bizarre. These two are not exactly someone who would get along, right? I don't know where these two came from. Did I miss a part of this story? Well, whatever the case may be, we got Charlotte versus Asuka. It was okay, I guess. And of course, Bayley said she's not going to interfere. Well, she lied. She did interfere. And this time it worked out. Asuka picked up the W. So I can only assume when we get the next match, you know, with Damage Control, Bayley is going to screw things over again. So CM Punk finally found the office and then met up with Cody Rhodes. Another crazy thing to see. Like, dude, these are the biggest names of AEW. Cody talked about Royal Rumble and it seems like they both want the same thing. But Cody welcomed CM Punk back to the WWE. What kind of universe mode shit is this? So crazy. This is literally happening. We see Randy Orton and LA Knight. There's some tension going on. CM Punk interrupts and wishes them good luck. No, seriously, is this a 2K24 universe mode commercial? Orton says, you ready for tonight? Yeah. And we got the match. LA Knight and Randy Orton versus Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. This was really fun, man. Just seeing Randy and LA Knight being involved in such big stories still. So happy about that. And it told a pretty simple story. LA Knight and Randy Orton, two big egos, didn't really get along during the match, but eventually it all worked out. They're working against the same enemy. It was funny though. LA Knight wanted to hit his finisher, but Randy did it first, so they won the match, and LA Knight was not mad. He's like, I would have done the same shit, my dude. Man, this is such a vibe. And we got that mutual respect. So this was great. And you know, I'm so happy there's something to talk about in the WWE in December. Because most of the time, WWE is so goddamn boring in December. I'm so glad Randy and CM Punk came back. No matter if we don't even have big stories going on right now, it's still fun. Nothing mind-blowing right here. Just a match you could have on a WWE live event. You know, sometimes that's enough. So that was your SmackDown. Really enjoyed the show. Like I've said, this is exactly what the fans wanted from CM Punk. Having Punk, Cody, Randy, LA Knight on the same show is really nuts. Like, it's crazy. So thank you for watching this video. Like, subscribe if you already did, and the great one. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.